Hello, in this video I'm going to show you the unboxing and a quick overview of the SONY LX5BT turntable with built-in preamplifier and Bluetooth. So as you can see right here, it's the box of this SONY LX5BT, and let's cut the tapes open to see everything that's inside. As I said, it has a built-in preamplifier, so that's pretty great, and it also has Bluetooth, so you can connect it to different Bluetooth devices, basically speakers, so you don't need a cable. Of course, with a cable it would be better, but sometimes you may prefer Bluetooth over the cable for convenience, right? Now, once we have it open, let's see everything that we get inside, because there's going to be quite a few things, of course, as usual when it comes to turntables. Hold on a second, I will just make the box open. Okay, and the first thing is, I believe it's the mat. It's a flat mat. As we can see it right here, in order to get to it, well, getting to it, okay, I guess I need to cut it, so I'll get to that later. But yeah, this looks like just the mat, or maybe not. Maybe that's not the mat. Maybe that's... Let's just open it because I'm really curious what actually comes inside. Yeah, because it's paper. That's what I'm curious about. Like, this is paper, and it's just paper, so like I don't really get it, but okay. It's just like something you get at the beginning. Then we have the cover. By the way, there will also be a video on how to set up the thing, how to make it work. So I advise you to watch that if you already got your turntable, or if you're planning on getting one, remember that you can refer to that other video whenever you want. Yeah, so this is the top cover, the top plastic cover. It looks pretty normal, like every cover does. And now it's time for all the other stuff that we get here. There's going to be very likely a charger. We'll see if anything else. So yes, we get the RCA cable, which is nice. It is indeed nice. As we can see, the RCA cable on both ends. It would be nice to have an adapter. We'll see that in a moment, if we have an adapter RCA to jack, because unfortunately I currently have a speaker with me that has only a jack. So that would be helpful, but of course you can purchase them separately. But we'll see. We'll see whether it will be needed or maybe it will be included. Now these are probably the hinges. Seems like they get installed separately. The hinge looks like hinges, although does it? Yeah, it is something. I may want to check that in the manual because it doesn't feel like a hinge. Then there is the 7-inch record adapter with a big hole, because 7-inch solos often have a bigger hole, so you get an adapter for that, which is super useful. And then a charger. I got the European one, and which is interesting, it's a USB-C. I wonder if it's because of European Union or just because they decided to do USB-C here. pretty interesting, but I do like it a lot because if you lose the charger, you can very likely use any other one, although I would still recommend using the original one, because in devices like this, they are not as smart typically, and they don't really work well with non-genuine chargers, or chargers that come with different voltages and stuff. But it's nice because you can use this charger for your phone as well, whenever you feel like it. There's the manual. I'm not going to open it for now. I don't feel like it. Let's go further. Let's see if we get the turntable, which of course we do. So yeah, it is there. It's packaged right here, and let's open it. Let's take the cover off. I need to be careful with it because there's the stylus, of course, and I don't really want to mess around with the stylus at this very moment. So let's be careful with it. Okay. And as we can see, this is our turntable. So it has the stylus, of course. It has the automatic start-stop mechanism, which is also very nice. Up and down, so you can also manually adjust the track that you want to listen to. Here's the stylus. I'm not gonna take it off for now because I'll be setting up the device, right? And yeah, this is the place for the hinges. So the hinges need to be installed separately. On the back, we get a selection of the output, so we can do phono or line, depending on whether you want to use the built-in preamplifier or your external one. There's on-off button, the DC in, you can see it's 5 volts, so that is important. Gain select, which is also nice to have, and the RCA port. So yeah, and I forgot one more thing. There's Bluetooth pairing button, which is also very, very nice. On the bottom of it, we only get the rubber feet, and that's it. So I'll put it away for now, and let's see the next things, which are obviously going to be now the flat mat and a platter, of course. We'll get to that in a short second. But first, let's open the flat mat. Okay. It is right here. One more tape to go. Okay, it is rubber, which is, I think, nice. I do like the fabric ones, but it is rubber. I think it's okay. I'll put it somewhere so it doesn't bend. And now we have the platter. The platter is metal, probably like some sort of aluminum. I don't know much about metals, so I can't tell you, but it's metal, because there are also different possibilities in different other models, right? So yeah, we have it right here. You can see that the belt, the conveyor belt, is already installed on the platter, and all you will need to do to attach it to the sub platter, to basically the turntable, is that you'll need to undo the tape right here, and then take this red tape in order to like put it on. So this makes it easier to put it on the sub platter. Okay, now once we have it, that is basically all we get in the box. Unfortunately, as I can see, we did not get any adapter for RCA. Oh no. I'll just, in a little moment, I'll put all the things together so we can just see it. Yeah, we did not get an adapter, which is a little, honestly, to be honest, it is a little disappointing for me. I was expecting that, but we didn't get any. But it doesn't matter. It's all basically done right now. So let's just skip to the part where everything lays here. And as we can see, everything's there. So the top cover, the turntable itself, of course, with the Bluetooth button, with automatic start-stop, the flat map, the RCA cable, 7-inch big hole adapter, the hinges, the platter, and the charger with USB-C. So that's what we got in the box, and this card, which is fun, I guess. So yeah, we did get those things, and that's basically all you need, besides speakers, of course. So to make this setup working, you will either need to get Bluetooth speakers or speakers. But if you're going to wire it up, if you're planning on buying the thing, it seems pretty good. The turntable seems pretty good, and in those good ones, it's normal that speakers don't come built in. That's the first thing. And the second thing is that there's no amplifier inside. I did say there is a preamplifier, but that does not equal to amplifier. So you will need to get either amplifier and passive speakers. Passive speakers just don't plug into power, don't plug into the wall. Or active speakers, which just plug into the wall, at least one of them. And that means they have an amplifier built in. So you need to get something like that. And you will be able to connect it. Of course, preferably the speakers should have RCA on them, so you can connect it that way. And that is basically it. I hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to set up your Sony record player. This model is LX5BT, and yeah, I'll show you how to get it all working, and we'll get to maybe playing some music. Okay, so to get it all working, first, we need to talk about what's needed besides what we have here. This is all that we got in the box besides the manual. I put the manual somewhere else. It's not important for me because I do know how to set it up. Yeah, so let's talk about the things that we have here. Let's name them. Let's see later what we need besides that, because of course, like in good turntables, it's not like speakers are built in. We don't get speakers built in, and that's actually a good thing, because only the worst models do have speakers built in. So yeah, that is a good sign. So we have a platter. This thing we will be later putting on top of the turntable, so it basically turns. And then on top of it, there will be the flat mat, which is there to protect the record from scratches and to make it lay flat and nice. Then we get an RCA cable to connect with your speakers. We'll get to speakers in a moment, because it's important that you understand which speakers to get. Then hinges, and hinges are for this part that you can see right here. This part right here is the cover for your record player, to protect it from dust and everything else, and to make it look nice. Then we get the charger. This is USB-C, which is fun, I guess. And yeah, I got the European version of the plug. And there's also an adapter for smaller records. there are 7-inch records, the smaller ones that typically hold singles, and those very often have a bigger hole because of technical reasons. They were quite important to like have them in singles. So you will be able to put it on top and put the record on it so it fits. Okay, now what we need is an amplifier and a speaker, because this device comes with a preamplifier built in, and a record player setup consists of 4 elements: a turntable, a preamplifier, an amplifier, and also there are speakers. And well, since we already have 2 elements in one body, we need an amplifier and speakers. And there, of course, are speakers with amplifiers built in. Those are called active speakers. And to distinguish whether your speakers are active or passive, active ones plug into power and passive ones don't. So I think that's like super easy to just differentiate, right? So you will either need to get speakers with an amplifier built in, so the ones that are like wall powered, you need to plug them into the wall. They probably also may have batteries inside, but it doesn't make sense because they will be still wired to the thing, so it doesn't matter. So this is the first option. You can also get passive speakers and an amplifier separately, which is also like pretty okay and fine. Or you also can get a preamplifier alone, so you can like decide not to use the built-in preamplifier and use your external one, so you can have like all those 4 elements I mentioned separate. Or you can do, let's say, the turntable, then a like, I think it's called something like I can't really remember, but just a device that has preamplifier and amplifier in one body, and then passive speakers. So there's many different choices. I honestly would recommend just using active speakers for that, or because this model is a BT model, Bluetooth, this means you can just use any Bluetooth speakers whatsoever. All Bluetooth speakers are active, so you just do Bluetooth. If you'd like to use that, that's also possible. And that's how I'm going to use it, because I got an RCA cable, and well, my speaker unfortunately doesn't have an RCA input, and I don't know where is my adapter for RCA to mini jack. So that's how I will be setting it up, but I also explain how to set it up in other cases. Now, before we begin with doing what we're doing here, it is important that you put your turntable on a flat surface. And this surface that I have right here is definitely not flat. It's some sort of mat, you can see. So I will need to put it on some other surface, which I'll do and get back to you, and we'll set everything up. I did rearrange things a little bit. As you can see now, it is on a flat surface, so I will be able to begin. Now, when you want to begin, the first thing is, of course, to install the platter. Install the platter to the sub platter, and then we will be able to do everything. So, yeah, let's go. I'll just take the platter. And now, as you can see on it, there is this red tape which is taped onto the platter, and the conveyor belt is already installed on the platter, which makes it very easy to install, since this is a metal platter and it has this form and shape, which is like super common. It is very easy to install it once you have those tapes. So this is nice. Before I install it, I'll just make sure I know where the yeah, I do. Okay, this is going to work this way, I believe. Hold on a second, because like that looks a little weird. Okay, it makes sense, I guess. So let's remove this tape. Well, I want to remove the tape without leaving any residue, but it doesn't seem like... Okay, no, it's fine, it's okay. Okay, let's do it like that. I'll just remove the remaining glue. Okay, maybe I'll do it later. And now, before I install it, let's see. You can see there is this thing that is going to rotate right here. So this is the conveyor belt attachment, right? So we just need to put the platter on like so. Let's put it all the way on, and then you can see how easy it is with the red tape. You just put it on like so. Now, all we'll need to do, we can rotate it a little bit so we don't have this part exposed anymore for now. And let's remove the tape. To do that, I'll just remove it, right? It's really, 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 really easy. Do that carefully. Now it's important that you rotate the platter counterclockwise 10 times, so the conveyor belt adjusts to its natural position before you start using the device. So gently rotate it 10 times. 1, 2, 3, 5, 4, was 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, now it is attached. It seems like it's going pretty well. And now it's time to install, put on the flat mat. Hold on, I made it a little dirty. I will need to wipe it in a moment. I'll do that. So let's put it on. Then the hinges. We have the hinges included. Of course, we do. Like, it would be weird if we didn't. But let's open them up. And in order to install them, all you do is you just put them in. You can't put them the wrong way in because, oh, okay, in a moment, because they have this shape of, like, I don't know, 2 rectangles, let's say. So there's no way of putting it in the wrong way. And both are the same, so it doesn't matter which one goes on the right and which one goes on the left side. Now it is time to install the cover, and the cover just slides on, so that's also not a big of a deal. Like so. You can see now I can very easily close and open it. Hold on a second, I'll just give this a wipe. Okay, now it's wiped, and let's open the stylus. Or maybe, you know what? Okay, no, we can do it because it has this protection here. So let's get this thing off, this one as well. And for the stylus, it is important that before you start playing for the first time, you slide off forward this cover for the stylus itself, for the cartridge. Now we can lock it here. I'll lock it because I will be rotating the thing to get on the back of it, so we can see the back of it and talk about it a little bit. Now we have the output selection, and Phono means you are not using the built-in preamplifier, so you need to get an external Phono amplifier, or preamplifier, whatever you want to call it. Preamp and line uses the internal preamplifier, which I would need if I had an active speaker, just active speaker, if I wanted to plug it in directly. Of course, I plug it in with the RCA. White one goes into the white port, red one goes into the right, the red port. So that is easy. And on the other end, it goes into the speaker or into the amplifier. Then gain select. You can also select it later whenever you decide to do it. There's on-off switch. When it's pressed in, it's on, and when it's not pressed in, it's off. So yeah, and there is the charging port, charging inlet. So I'll plug it into the power. Now, as I said, I think I said that I will be connecting my speaker with Bluetooth, so I'll also show you how to use Bluetooth on this device. I think that is going to be pretty useful to know how to use the Bluetooth here. So, okay, I will plug it into the power. It's on. Let's press the button. And now, if I wanted to start, it would naturally start. You can see it does start, although I am going to stop it. Stop. Yeah, because I don't want to go put the stylus on just the flat mat. Stop. No, don't move. Okay, I'm not touching it for now. Let's try to get around with Bluetooth, although I have never used Bluetooth on a turntable, so I'll just get back to you once I figure it out. Okay, I did get a pretty large speaker for now, so that's what I'm going to use. And this is, by the way, a Sharp PS-929, the Bluetooth one. As I said earlier, if you want to connect it with a cable, that would be best if you have that option. But I unfortunately don't have an adapter for now, so I will be connecting it with Bluetooth since we get that option here. So to connect it with Bluetooth, it is going to be very easy. All you need to do is first turn your speaker on and put it into pairing mode. And make sure the devices are very close to each other, because most likely neither of those have a display, so you will not be able to select a speaker from a list. It's just that those devices need to be very close to each other, and that's how they will select them themselves automatically once they're like the closest to themselves. So I will enable it. In case you have the same speaker, you basically need to press and hold on the power button. Then make sure in mode it's making this weird Bluetooth sound. In mode, make sure it's selected Bluetooth, and then press and hold on the play pause button to enable Bluetooth pairing. It said pair me, so now I'll press and hold on the Bluetooth pairing button on the turntable until it starts blinking blue. Let's see if it works. Okay, let's release it. Now it should pair, technically. I'll try putting it in pairing mode, putting the speaker in pairing mode again.
Connected.
Okay, no, it is connected. It did work without my input, so that is great. And now it is going to work. So I'll just bring a record. I think I have one with me. Yeah. And what we'll do is we'll basically play it and see if everything works. Okay, I got this Modern Talking, the second album, pressed in Bulgaria. And let's put it on here and let's start playing. Let's see if everything works correctly. It should, of course. If you have any questions, feel free to comment them down below. I think I did, I hope I did explain how to connect wired in case you want to do it, which I do recommend. So yeah, I'll just find which one is the side A, maybe. Because it's going to be Sherry Lady, and probably you know it. So let's click on start. Make sure this is unlocked here. And now you can see it has the automatic start-stop mechanism. Okay, it is going to be super loud. Hold on a second. Yeah, as we can hear, it does work. I'll mute it. Yeah, it does work. Now, two more things about this device is that you can change the speed here to 45. 45 is not used for LPs like this. This is an LP, which means it has 12 inches, and for 12 inches, it is not used at all. So, like 45 is used for 7 inches for single records. So that's where you would change it, but now it's 33, not 45, because it's an LP. And also you can change the size to 12 or 17 before you start playing it with the automatic start-stop mechanism. And when you change it to 7 inches, the stylus arm will know where to start playing the record in which place, right? Because it's going to be smaller. Now I will put that arm up and I will move it slightly to the end to show you how well the mechanism works, the start-stop mechanism works. So let's push it down for now. Or you know what? I'll do a little more. I don't want to wait too long. Okay, I think it's going to finish now. Yeah, and as we'll see in a moment, it will stop itself. Of course, you need to flip to side B yourself, but well, it's not that important. Yeah, and let's see now the record has finished. It is going to now move the arm pretty quickly to the center. And now it automatically turns up and then turns here and then puts itself down, as you can see. And the record stops. So that is the whole thing. I hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello, in today's video I'm going to tell you how to adjust the volume level on your turntable Sony LX5BT. What it means, what a volume level here is like what power will it output. And you can set it to low, medium, or high. And in most cases, I would not recommend using the high, because high actually may do a little bit of overdrive on the sound, and it may sound a little distorted. And when it does so, just set it to mid or low. I think the mid or low are the best to keep it on, and just adjust the speakers. Depends on the record, honestly, because sometimes the record or your speakers are just too quiet and you need to set it to high here. But in most cases, I would recommend setting it to mid or low. So there's not many adjustments here, but I think just enough to be able to like set it here well, and then work with the volume knob on your speaker. I hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello, in this video I'm going to show you what does blinking blue light mean on your Sony LX5BT. Okay, so here is a Bluetooth button, and once I click on it, in my case it will turn blinking blue, which means searching for connection. It is currently searching for connection. If it fails, then it'll turn orange. And now, if you want to connect it, so it turns solid blue and it is connected to something in Bluetooth, then you should put that other device into pairing mode as well, which means I need to turn my speaker on, then put it in pairing mode.
Bluetooth.
Okay, it's in Bluetooth. It is in pairing currently. So both devices are in pairing and they are as close to each other as possible. Now they should automatically detect themselves and connect to each other. I will see the white turning solid here, and I will see the speaker. I will hear the speaker saying it's connected. It did say right now, so it is now connected, and the light has turned solid blue. Now, if it loses connection, then
Powering down.
You will see the light is now orange. And if you have it in orange and want to put it in pairing mode, because now it's like in standby Bluetooth currently, if you want to put it in pairing to pair a new device, then you will need to press and hold on the Bluetooth button, and now it starts blinking. To disable Bluetooth, just click on the button or click on it again to re-enable it. Of course, having it enabled, I think having it enabled does not output sound from the RCA cable, so make sure to disable it if you want to use a wired speaker. And I hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello, in today's video I'm going to tell you where is the start and stop button on the Sony LX5BT. Okay, so that is going to be pretty easy to find because they are located right here. And in order to use them, let's put a record here and we'll start. First, select the size of the record, either 12 or 7 inches. This is a LP, 12 inches. Now, the speed, for LPs, it's typically 33. It's also often written here. Now, let's make sure the arm is unlocked and click on Start. Now, if the correct size is selected, the arm will automatically lift itself, put itself on the beginning position, then lower itself down, and it will start playing, as you can see. Yeah, it did start right now, but my speaker is off, so you won't hear it. Now, you can also, instead of the start button, you could have just selected up down by pressing on up down button, adjusting it manually to the desired position, and click on up down again. Hold on, I'll move it a little further. You can see that when the needle reaches the end of the record, it will automatically go back to the neutral position, to the resting position. Hold on, I'll move it a little further to make it a little quicker. Now you will notice it lifts itself up and it goes back. Now, it will stop spinning in a little moment and go down. I could also, whenever I want, just decide to stop playing by clicking on Stop, that will lift the arm and go back to the resting position. I hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to pair a Bluetooth speaker with your Sony LX5BT. I have a Bluetooth speaker right here, and of course the LX5BT supports Bluetooth, as the name says, BT. And there's a Bluetooth pairing button. So first I will need to turn the turntable on because I have it currently off, and now it's already in Bluetooth. It will be by default disabled, which means the light diode is not lit up here. Now I'm going to turn my speaker on. Okay.
Bluetooth.
Okay, now it's in Bluetooth mode.
Pair me.
I've put it in pairing mode, and now what I need to do is press and hold on the Bluetooth button and make sure that when you release, it should start blinking blue. Let's hold a second. Make sure the devices are very close to each other, because since the turntable doesn't have a display on which you could choose the devices nearby, it just selects the closest device that is currently in pairing mode. So since this is it's like right next to the turntable and it's in pairing mode, then as you can see, it is now connected. And yeah, it does that automatically, as you can notice. So that is pretty cool. You can later disable Bluetooth.
Disconnected.
Or enable it back
Connected.
again, like so. And yeah, you can now start playing something. So if I put a disc here, if I clicked on start, and let's say I'll turn the volume up a little bit, then you will notice that it does start playing. Yeah, and it's there. So I hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello, in today's video I'm going to show you how to pair your Sony LX5BT with Bluetooth headphones. Okay, so as you can see right here, I have the turntable and it has to be powered on. Now you need to put both the turntable and your headphones into pairing mode, and make sure that they are as close to each other as possible, because since the turntable does not have a display on which you could choose which device to connect to, it just selects the closest available device that is currently in pairing mode. And if you have multiple devices that could connect at the very moment, then it wouldn't really know how to decide, so just it picks the closest. So make sure that your headphones are as close as possible during pairing. Now I have AirPods. For AirPods, I just need to open them and press and hold on the back button until it gives me a chime and the white light starts blinking. Now here I need to press and hold on the Bluetooth button for a moment, then release it, and it starts blinking blue. Now let's wait a little moment. It should turn solid once it is connected. Okay, now it is connected. I heard a chime from my AirPods, and once I put them in, I will very likely hear the sound. So let's start playing and let's see. Okay, I can already hear something. Okay, I'll try to show you that to the microphone. Okay, you probably can hear it. It does work indeed. So that is basically it. And I hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to clear the Bluetooth pairing list on your Sony LX5BT in order to just reset all the Bluetooth connections. If you would like to reset all Bluetooth connections, then you will need to press and hold on the Bluetooth button for about 10 seconds. So that's going to be quite a long time. And let's do it together. To do it, you just like press and hold for those 10 seconds. That's a lot, so you can even start counting to make sure it's been at least 10 seconds. I didn't count, so maybe I'll just do like 5 more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and let's release it. Now it's blinking. For a moment, it started blinking blue and orange interchangeably. Then the light went off. And now the Bluetooth connections have been reset, which means all the previously paired devices were removed, and you can add them again or add different ones. So yeah, they won't be remembered anymore, and it may fix some issues with Bluetooth pairing and stuff like that. So now, when you want to enter pairing mode to pair something, just press and hold for like 2 seconds, then release. You will see the light turn blinking blue all the time. Now I'll put my speaker into pairing mode.
Bluetooth.
Okay.
Pair me.
Okay, it's in pairing, and now let's wait a little moment. Since the turntable does not have a screen on which you could choose a device to connect to, all you need to do is just wait until the device gets discovered, and make sure that this is the closest device closest Bluetooth device to the turntable, at least for the moment of pairing, because that's how it selects what to pair to. It just pairs to the closest one at the very moment. And now let's, I'm gonna turn off Bluetooth because I don't need it anymore for now. And I hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to install the platter as well as the mat on your Sony LX5BT. As you can see, the platter, which needs to go on the turntable, has this red tape. And the red tape, if it's not there anymore, if you've removed it, well, you still will be able to do it, but with the tape it is much easier, because you can see you can stretch it like so and put it on the motor. The motor is located right here. I recommend doing all of that with the power completely unplugged from the device. See, this is where the motor is. So now all you need to do is simply put the platter on with the red tape being near the motor. And now, as you can see, all I do, since the red tape's there, is put the conveyor belt. Hold on, I am having problems with doing it with one hand, and I did fail a little bit. Yeah, I'm gonna put it back. Hold on, I need to inspect it. So I did rotate it by an accident. Now I removed it by an accident. So yeah, that's something that happens, and you just put it on the platter. It's easy to put it on the platter, to be honest. just put it on. I'm gonna move the tape here so it's in the correct spot. It's just sticking out of the hole. And now let's try to do it again. So let's put it on. Let's attach it on the motor. Okay, it is done correctly. Now I will gently rotate it a little bit so it's easier to remove the tape. And now you should rotate manually the platter 10 times, but it should be counterclockwise, right? Yeah, counterclockwise. So it's going to be 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That makes sure the conveyor belt is in its natural position, so it doesn't fall off. And now and also it makes sure that if you've accidentally rotated the conveyor belt, that it still just makes, it rotates itself again, so it is all straight. Now to put the mat, you just put it on top through the hole. And that's it for the video. I hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to install the drive conveyor belt on your SONY LX5BT. Okay, so as you can see, I have it already installed, but I will first turn off the device because I will need to remove it and install it again. So there's a button on the back of it. Now the device should turn off soon.
Disconnected.
Okay, I will also turn my speaker off for now.
Powering down.
And I will remove this cover for now as well. And make sure to protect your stylus. Basically by locking it right here, making sure it's locked. Now I will remove the record because I currently have it on. I will remove the flat mat. Of course, typically you wouldn't have those things installed at this very moment. Now what I'll do is I'll try to turn it into the let's call it a factory state, which had this red tape. So I will just install the red tape right here, because it makes it all easier. So hold on a second, I'll just do it all. Okay, now I should be able to remove it. Okay, so this is our platter. This is called platter. It is metal, and in order to install it, first you will need to find where, let's also unplug it from power, to be honest. Where is this part? This is going to rotate. It has a motor built in, and that's where you need to attach the conveyor belt. And now what makes it easy is this red tape, which comes pre-installed by factory. You can also install any other one or just do it by hand, but it's better with the tape, trust me. So what we need to do is attach the platter like so, which means it's the red tape is near the motor part. And now all you need to do is very easily, very simply, just put it on like so. Now you can rotate it a little bit to make removing the tape easier. And well, the tape is now joined together. Okay, now I've removed the tape. And it's important that now you rotate it 10 times counterclockwise. So let's do it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is to just make sure that the drive belt is in its natural position. And now you will be able to use the device. So that is basically it for the video. I hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello, in today's video I'm going to tell you which output to select on your SONY LX5BT. As you can see, you can select between the phono and line, and in most cases you will just visibly hear the difference. If you set it to phono and it's quiet, then you need to set it to line, and if you set it to line and the sound's weird, then you want to set it to phono. But now let's explain it a little further, because this explanation sounds kind of weird. So a typical record player consists of 4 elements: the turntable, preamplifier, amplifier, and speakers. Of course, it goes in that order. So from the turntable to the preamp, then to amp, then to speakers. Now, those parts can be either all separate or all combined, or some parts combined, etc. You can make many different setups. There are as many setups as different combinations of those devices possible. And of course, there are turntables with everything built in, including the speakers and everything. But those aren't really good, to be honest. This one, on the other hand, is actually wonderful. It is a really, really good mid-level device. It's not an audiophile device, but it is really, really great. And it comes with the preamp built in. So you already get a preamp built in, and you can later just plug it into an amplifier and a speaker, or a speaker that is called active speaker, which has an amplifier built in. To distinguish whether a speaker is amplified or is passive, active speakers with amplifiers built in have a power input, so are powered with a cable. And the passive speakers are just directly connected to the output and to the amplifier. So I couldn't, if I had a passive speaker, I couldn't connect it here. I should connect an amplifier here, and then to the amplifier I should connect a speaker, a passive speaker, which isn't powered by like wall electricity. You don't plug it into the wall. Now, the thing is that you may decide on your own whether or not you want to use the built-in preamplifier. And if you want to use it, set it to line. So then you just connect amplifier and speaker, or an active speaker. And if you set it to phono, then you need to get the preamp, amp, and speaker, or preamp and speaker, or you can get a unified system of both preamp and amp in one device, and then plug it into a speaker. So I think that it makes a lot of sense to have that sort of choice, to use the preamp online or not use it on phono. Yeah, so if you either have, let's say, an amplifier that already comes with a preamplifier, very likely you'll use the phono. Or if you have if you just decide to use an external preamplifier, set it to phono, but otherwise, you very likely will just set it to line and use the built-in preamp, then connect it to an active speaker, because that's the easiest setup and I think the most common. I hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello, in today's video I'm going to show you how to set the speed to, how to change the speed on your SONY LX5 Bluetooth. On SONY LX5BT, setting the speed is super simple, but before we do, let's explain what the speed does. So the speed is different depending on the record you're playing. and on most records it is going to be 33. It is written typically somewhere on the label. That's what the label's for. Labels also show the side. There's side A and side B. Now, yeah, it's in 33 RPM, which means it should be played in that. There are also records in 45. There are also some other options out there, but they are very rare, either very vintage, like super, super old, 100 years old, which are 78. And there's also 66, which is like super rare, and this record player doesn't support it, and it's totally normal, totally okay, and that's like totally common for record players not to work with those speeds, and that's actually a good thing, because 66 is like super rare, and 78 requires a different cartridge anyway, so it's best to just like omit them. So 33 is the way to go in most cases, and you can see the speed is written right here. This is the speed right here. Oh, hold on, because like I don't want to start playing it. Okay, so now once we know that, you can just turn the knob to 33 or 45, and some records are in 45. Typically, those are gonna be the smaller 7-inch records that hold singles. The ones that hold singles typically have one or most commonly two songs, with one on one side and one on the other side. And they are in 45 because since it's a single record, it is able to like fit the 45, because 45 requires more area, more length of grooves. So like the whole album wouldn't fit on this 12-inch disc, but on a 7-inch disc, which is going to be like basically this size, it would totally fit. Because it's just one song on each side. So yeah, and 45 just has a little bit better quality, so that's why they do it. Now it's also important that for 7 inches you change the size. There's another knob for the size, which lets you adjust it to 7 inches. So when you do start, then the arm doesn't adjust itself to here, but rather somewhere to here, to the beginning of the 7-inch record. So that is also very important. And most 7-inch records, especially the older ones, the little older ones, have a bigger hole. So there's an adapter included in the box that lets you put it on and put the 7-inch record on it, so it fits. And yeah, that's basically it. That's how you change the speed. Then you just press on start, and it starts playing in that speed. And you will probably hear if something's off if you've read the speed wrong on the label. I hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello, in today's video I'm going to show you how to switch between the 12 and 7-inch record on your SONY LX5BT. As you can see right here, I have a 12-inch record called long play. Long plays typically fit the whole album of up to, I believe, 90 minutes or 70 minutes. I'm not sure. I can't tell you that because I'm not sure. But LPs are typical albums. That's what we call albums. There are also EPs that are 10 inches. So for 10 inches, unfortunately, you would need to adjust the arm manually. I'll show that in a moment. But 10 inches are super rare, and a little less rare are 7-inch records. 7-inch records are, of course, smaller than this, and they hold singles, so-called singles. So basically, one song on one side. And when you want to play them, they often have a bigger hole right here. So you will also need to use the adapter that comes included in the box. As you can see, this is what the adapter looks like. You just put it on here on the spindle, and then you put of course, without the wrapper. You put it on the spindle and then put the disc on it. Now, to change the size on the record player, you change the size knob. You switch it to 12 or 7 inches. What is that for? It's so the record player knows where the beginning of the record will be. And I'll show you that. I have it currently set to 7 inches and I have a 12-inch record. So when I press on start, the arm will not start here at the beginning of the record. Rather, it will start right here, somewhere closer to the end of the record than the beginning. And that's the first thing to have in mind. If you were to use a 10-inch record, you could just press an up down right here manually. The size doesn't matter here. It could be 12, I guess. And then adjust the arm manually to the beginning of the record, which I think would be somewhere around here. Then you press on up, down again, and it will just fall down, and it will start playing. So that's one thing, but also for 7-inch records, it is very common that they should be played in speed 45, not 33. That's because higher speed takes more space on the disc. But since it's a single record, it is smaller than 12 inches, but it still can fit a single song on its area with a higher speed. And higher speed gives you better quality. So 45 is the way to go with the, so another knob, the speed knob, can be set to 45 to play it in correct speed for those records, for the 7-inch records. But for most 12-inch records, it's going to be 33. Now I'm going to stop it. So that's what you do. And one more thing is that it's not always the case with the speeds. It's not always the case because you just need to refer to the label. As you can see, my label says 33 in those circles. Sometimes it's not in circles. Sometimes it just says like 33 RPM, or does that anywhere on the label, or not on the label, but rather on the cover. And yeah, that's honestly it. So I hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello, in today's video, I'm going to show you how to manually adjust the arm to a selected track, to a selected point on the record on your SONY LX5 Bluetooth. Okay, as you can see, I have the record player right here. This is the SONY LX5BT, and to adjust the arm manually, so you can select a selected track, or you can, for example, play a 10-inch record, which you are unable to select on the knob, but 10 inches are like pretty rare. 10-inch records are called EPs, and they are indeed quite rare. But if you'd like to play one, then you would need to adjust the position manually, because for the auto start stop button, you can only select the size to 12 or 17 inches right here. Also, it's important that you select the correct speed. But okay, make sure that it's unlocked here. The lock is unlocked. And then click on up down. You can see the arm turns up. Now, as you move it towards the center, at some selected point, it will start rotating. And that means your record is now being rotated, and you can adjust it to the selected position. If I want to set it to the beginning of the record, I place it somewhere here. then click on up down, and it will start playing. It does play right now, but my Bluetooth speaker is currently turned off, so you won't hear it. Although it did start playing. Now I will stop it. You can always use the automatic stop button, but you can also, if you don't want to use it, you can also just click on up down and adjust the arm to its not neutral position. And in neutral position, when the record stops moving, you just press on up down again to turn the arm down. Now, if you'd like to select a selected track, you can probably see that on the record, some grooves are more visible. Those grooves that are visible are less dense. You can see they appear darker, a little darker, and these are the spaces between tracks. You can see on this side there is 5 tracks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now let's say I want to play the 5th track, which on side B, because I have side B right now, on there's side A and side B. On side B, this is Modern Talking, the second album. It's going to be Let's Talk About Love. And if I'd like to play it, I can just select up down, then adjust the arm to somewhere around the beginning. It's never really like super perfect when it comes to alignment. You can now press on up down, and yeah, now it starts playing that one. You can actually hear it because, well, as I said, I don't have the Bluetooth speaker connected, but I think you can hear it quite well that it started playing. And yeah, as I said, you can do the automatic stop. You can also just wait until it goes to an end of the record, because when it goes to end, you will notice that it automatically stops. Or as I said, you can do up down, move it to the rightmost side, and select up down again. And that is basically it for the video. I hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. In today's video, I'm going to tell you why is your sound too quiet or distorted on your Sony LX5BT. Okay, so the sound may be too quiet or distorted because of many different reasons. Now, before we diagnose the problem, we need to understand why that may happen. And to understand it better, you need to know that typical record player consists of 4 elements: the turntable itself, as well as a preamplifier, amplifier, and a speaker, or stereo speakers, of course. Now, since we know that, this model has a preamplifier built in. So it means it's a turntable and a preamplifier built in, and you will need an external amplifier and speaker. But there are also very common, very popular active speakers. Active speakers means they are plugged into power. If a speaker plugs into power, it means it's active. Or if it has batteries in, it's also active then. In that case, it's basically an active speaker, which means it has an amplifier inside. But if it doesn't plug into power, then it's a passive speaker, and you will need to have an amplifier as well. So once you're sure that you have all the elements here, the turntable with the preamplifier and an amplifier and a speaker, or just an active speaker, now you need to make sure that everything's wired correctly. Of course, there's also a Bluetooth connection here, but Bluetooth connection should always work, basically. If it doesn't work, then it is probably an issue with the stylus, or your record not being clean, or being damaged. But in other cases, it's just wiring. If it's wired, then it's typically wiring issue. Now, for wiring, let's go to the back. I will unplug the power because it won't be needed for me right now. And you can see there are quite a few things. First of all, you may want to change the gain to basically change the loudness level. I'll leave it on mid. Now, there are the RCA cables. Make sure that if you're using them, you have the RCA cable red plugged into the red port and white to the white, and on the other end, it's plugged into the speaker, and make sure that they are plugged all the way in. You may also want to test out another set of the cable to see that problem. But before you go ahead and buy another cable, there is also something called output select. And now here you need to know what is the difference here. If you set it to phono and sound is too quiet, or there's no sound at all, that means that you should set it to line. Because Phono does not use the preamplifier built in, which means you need to use an external preamplifier. So another part. You can, of course, do that, and there are many people that just want to do that for two different reasons. Either they have an amplifier amplifier system that has a preamplifier built into it, or they want to use their own because of quality or something. But if you're not using an external preamplifier, you're just using an amplifier and speaker or active speakers, then make sure it's set to line here. Make sure the power is correctly connected. You may want to try a different power outlet because it also may interfere a little bit. Power may cause some interference. And yeah, I think that is basically it. Of course, always make sure that you have an amplifier or active speakers. Otherwise, it just won't make a good sound. And yeah, that is basically it. I hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello, in this video, I'm going to show you how to prepare or pack your SONY LX5BT for transporting it safely. Okay. Let's begin with all of that, and the first thing is, of course, to unplug it from power, which I already have done, as you can see, and make sure that the power switch is off, so it's out. Unplug it from anything else, and now let's get it all ready. So let's first if you still have the box, you may want to remove this part right here and put it like if you have the original box, right, that the device came with, then you may want to remove this part and just put it separately. If not, then you may want to remove it for now and then reattach it. Of course, I have the record on it, so let's remove that one as well. The flat mat, which is nice to store flat. So make sure you don't like roll it or anything. You just store it flat. The best would be like between some cardboard boxes or between vinyl records, which is also a pretty good idea. Now let's remove our platter. What I'll do is just, as you can see, there's the motor part. Just remove the drive belt like so. Now remove the platter. And it would be worth attaching a ribbon. I actually have the one that was included in the box. but if you don't have it, just get any other ribbon. It would be nice because later you will be able to easily reattach it to the to what did I say? To the motor. To the motor. It would be much easier because then you can pull it like so, and yeah, it makes everything easier. Now I also have a tape that I will tape it on with so it doesn't fall off. You can use any kind of tape. So okay, now we have that done. Let's make sure everything is great with our stylus because I did make it fall down here. I'm so sorry, stylus. Let's first, I have this kind of thing here, which may be a little useful to wrap it around the stylus where it meets the resting place. This kind of attachment, so it just doesn't scratch, right? Now let's lock it here, and if you have a tie like this would be really useful because later you can just tie it here to make sure it doesn't fall off, because if it does, it may lead to very, very unwanted and big damage. So we don't want it to fall. We don't want to like jump around. Now also, I always, like, even if I don't keep the box, I always keep the thing for the cartridge to just later put it on whenever I need to like transport it, or if I'm not using it for a longer time, just to make sure that if someone moves it and it falls, the needle doesn't get destroyed. Let's remove the hinges on the back if you're not going to reattach the dust cover, but if you are going to, you can safely reattach it now. I will remove the hinges though, because I will be putting everything in the original box. But as I said, well, it's all done here. You can just, if you're not transporting it in the box, you can just, of course, with the hinges, put the dust cover on and yeah, just transport it. Then transport your platter somewhere safe, and the flat mat, just put it in between like vinyl records, and well, it should be fine. So that is great, and well, that is basically it. So I hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello, in this video I'm gonna show you how to replace the drive belt on your Sony LX5BT. In order to do it, you will need to first make sure that the arm is locked, the stylus arm is locked. Remove the record if you have it in. And I will highly recommend removing the dust cover because, well, it may be a little bit of an issue to do it with it on. Now, all you need to do is remove the flat mat. And I will recommend using a ribbon. But before we do that, I will unplug the power. I do prefer it that way for safety. Now use a ribbon. You can also like manually use a finger. I'll show you everything in detail in a moment. But I will use a ribbon. This one was actually included in the box, but just any sort of ribbon like this to make it easier later it just makes it easier, honestly. But what it's most easy for, what it makes most easy is attaching a new drive belt. So we'll get to that in a little moment, but I'll actually remove it that way. So I'll just put the ribbon underneath, put it through, and now, as I said, you should remove it. I'll show you what it looks like here. You can see there is this motor, and all you need to do is detach it. You can see how easy it is. It is literally so easy. Now you can use thumbs to gently hold here and remove the platter. Now it's removed. And if you would like to replace the drive belt now, you should remove the drive belt. So let's remove it. Now let's act it's a new one. Attach the ribbon and put the drive belt on. Now, as you will notice, okay, I didn't really put the ribbon on, but okay, we have the drive belt on. It's best to do it with 2 fingers. Now let's put the ribbon through, because it really makes it easier, and I just don't want to get there with fingers. Make sure that the ribbon can go through the square hole, either of the square holes on the sides of the platter. Put the platter on, and now, as it's rotated to the position where the square hole is visible, in the square hole you can see the motor, and yeah, like so. Then you just take the ribbon and put it on. Put the drive belt on. Now remove the ribbon, and before we begin doing everything, it's important that you make sure it's synced. All the mechanisms inside, all the start-stop mechanisms inside are synced, and that the drive belt is in its natural position. To do both of these things, to do the syncing and making sure the drive belt is in natural position, make sure that that you press on up down when the stylus is unlocked, then move it a little bit towards the center, just a little bit, and now start rotating it clockwise. Sorry, no, counterclockwise. Am I saying it right? No, I'm saying it right. Clockwise 10 times. Now it is all done, and you can now press on up down, lock it, and then put the flat mat on, and of course the cover, the dust cover, and also do the power, plug it into power. So hold on a second, I'll just put the dust cover on, and I'll plug it into power, and that is it. I hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Hello, in this video I will explain the rear panel of the SONY LX5 Bluetooth. The SONY LX5BT has the rear panel, of course, and let's see everything that we have here, and we'll go from the right to the left side, because it's just getting from easier to understand to less easy to understand. So yeah, there's the on-off button. It's on when it's pressed in and off when it's not pressed in. Then there is a USB-C port for powering it. It doesn't have a built-in battery, so it has to be powered all the time. Then there is just some kind of thing here, whatever it is. And gain select, which is basically the loudness of your vinyl, how loud it will be played. I would recommend setting it to mid or low, unless it's just too quiet and you want to set it to high. But in most cases, it's better to have it on mid or low. I think the best mid. Then we have the RCA port. RCA is a typical standard to connect to your speakers. And yeah, it's pretty good. You just take the red cable and plug it into the red port, white to the white port, and that's it. And do the same on the speakers. If your speakers do not have an RCA port, they can be connected with either Bluetooth, which is available on this model, or they can also be connected with my mini jack if you have an adapter, because there is an RCA cable included here. You just need another adapter from RCA to mini jack in order to plug it in. Now, the last thing is actually a little more difficult. It's for turning off or on the built-in preamplifier, because record players consists of 4 elements. A record player has a turntable, which we have right here, a preamplifier, amplifier, and speaker. Now here, as you can see, we have the turntable with a preamplifier built in. Yeah, it's basically, it has a preamplifier built in. So besides this whole device, you just need an amplifier and speaker. And also there are active speakers, very popular, very, very common on the market. Active speakers, how to distinguish active and passive speakers? Active speakers are plugged into power, and passive speakers are just plugged in to the to an amplifier without like power cable. So yeah, and if you would like to use it, if you would like to use the built-in preamplifier, set the output to line. That means it will utilize the built-in amplifier, sorry, preamplifier, and you just need to plug it into an active speaker or amplifier and then to a passive speaker. If you would like to use an external preamplifier, set the output to Phono. It will output Phono data, Phono. Like, yeah, it will just do the Phono signal, and then your preamplifier will convert it into a signal that is later going to an amplifier and a speaker. So yeah, that is what you can do. And why would you set it to Phono? First of all, if you would like to use your own amplifier, sorry, preamplifier for whatever reason, like you prefer the quality, or if you have an amplifier that has a preamplifier built in. There are some like systems of like having those combined, and then you would like to set it to Phono, plug it into that combined device, and then plug it into a passive speaker, or plug it into, like, there's many different combinations, right? You can plug it into a preamplifier, then an active speaker. You can do the preamplifier, amplifier, passive speaker. You can just directly plug it into amplifier with line selected and plug it into an amplifier and a speaker or active speaker. There's many different options out there, so everyone will find something for them. I think the easiest configuration that you may want to do is just setting it to line and plug it into an active speaker or active speakers, because it of course supports stereo, as we can see by 2 RCA cables. As long as the record is in stereo, then it'll work in stereo. But most records currently are in stereo. So I hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello, in today's video I'm going to tell you why is the platter not spinning on your SONY LX5BT. Okay, let's get this thing rotated for now. Now make sure it's plugged into power, of course. But like, I won't be talking for now. I won't be talking about like electricity stuff. Make sure it's plugged into power. Make sure it's turned on the back. There's a button that when pressed in, it's enabled. When not pressed in, it is off. So make sure the device is on. To check it, you can click on the Bluetooth pairing button. If it lights up, then, well, you have power. But I think that issue doesn't require any explanation. So let's talk about an actual issue that you may get, which is always connected with the platter and the drive belt and everything. So let's remove the flat mat and let's remove the platter. Before I do, first let's disconnect the drive belt. What I'll do, I'll remove the dust cover because it will not be needed for now. And it'll just be a bother. Okay, now as you can notice right here, there is the drive belt. You can just use your finger to remove it, like so. Now use 2 fingers in those circular holes and remove the platter. Super easy. Now inspect the drive belt to see any sort of damage and also to see if it is twisted, because if it is twisted like so, then it may just not work. So make sure it's not twisted. You may also want to take it off. In some rare cases, you may want to replace it later as well, because, well, it does damage after multiple years of usage or after improper usage. If it was twisted, or if you didn't remove the ribbon that came pre-installed, then you might have destroyed your conveyor belt. So make sure that it is all working nice, and then you can reinstall it like so on the platter. Then I will use a ribbon, because ribbons are super helpful when installing, to make sure we don't twist the belt, and make sure it's just easier for us, because we do want to make it easier, don't we? You can see the red ribbon should be sticking out of the square hole on either side of the platter. Now, you can try inspecting the mechanism by turning it a little bit here. That's what I do, just to see if it's turning here, to see if the motor is turning here, and, well, if there's no like bigger, I don't know, particles of something. I don't know, maybe you ate a burger on top of it before you put the platter and the flat mat on it for the first time, and maybe there's some parts of the burger. Well, everything's possible, right? Now let's put the platter on the spindle, and let's attach the drive belt. Now be very gentle with it. Just attach it like so. Make sure it is not twisted. Now it is not twisted in my case. Remove the ribbon very gently. Now we will need to make sure that it is well synced with all the mechanisms inside, and also that the belt is in its natural position. How to do it, you may ask. Let's unlock this lock here. To unlock our arm, press on up down button. Now move it a little bit here. Now start rotating clockwise until it goes back to its position, to its resting position. Now, well, wait. It is weird right now because it didn't want to move. Okay, I forgot, sorry. What you need to do is actually move it, then rotate it not until it goes into its position, but rather until it clicks. Now it didn't click. Okay, wonderful. Let's press on start and wait until it clicks. Okay, it clicked. Now let's go back. Let's put it down. Now let's put it up. Let's put it to the center like so. Don't put it down though, and start rotating until you hear and feel a click. I should feel it soon. I did. Okay, so that's how you should do it. Now you can put the flat mat on. Let's lower the arm, of course. And now you should be able to start your record, and it should all be working. So I hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Hello, in today's video I'm going to show you how to play a vinyl record on your Sony LX5BT. First, since I'm using a Bluetooth speaker, I will pair it, but if you have a wired connection, of course it's already wired, so just make sure that either your amplifier or your active speaker is enabled, plugged into power, as well as your turntable, which has a button on the back of it. When it's pressed in, it's on. When it's not pressed in, it's off. So I'm gonna press it in. Now it's on. Let's open the cover. You can see I already have a record placed. Make sure to handle your records with care, so only touch the edges, not the grooves, and put it on. This is side A. You can see there's also side B, and they are typically described on the cover. You can see it has all the list of all the tracks on side A and side B. Now it's time to turn on the speaker, as I said, because I will need to put it in Bluetooth. So I will enable Bluetooth right here. Now the speaker is being enabled.
Bluetooth.
It is making weird sounds, I know. Now, since both devices are now in pairing mode, I believe, yeah, they are, they will connect to each other automatically as long as
Connected.
For the moment of pairing, this is the closest Bluetooth device to the turntable. So to pair them with Bluetooth, they just need to be as close as possible and both in pairing. Okay, now we can play our vinyl record. Make sure that if you're using it for the first time, you have removed the cover for the cartridge. You just slide it off. Like so. I'll try to show you that. You see, it will be something like that. You slide it off. Then make sure that this lock is now open. Make sure to select the correct size. 12 inches for a standard LP and 7 inches for a smaller single record. Single records are visibly smaller than the platter, and they often have a bigger hole. Since they have a bigger hole, you should use an adapter. There is an adapter included in the box. I'll show you that. As you can see, this is the adapter. It is perfect for the bigger holes of 7-inch records. And turn this knob to set it to 7-inch. But since I have a 12-inch one, I will use it like that. Now you have the speed selection. And this is not just your preference speed. It's never the preference speed. You never do preference on speeds. It's 33. It's always written on the, I think always, most of the time. It is written on the disc. You can see it shows 33, not 45. But you can also know that LPs, the big records, this size is typically just 33, and the smaller size, the 7 inches, are 45 RPM because that comes with better quality, and of course 48, like a single track on 48 speed takes more space, so it can fit, a single song can fit on a 7-inch disc, but a whole album wouldn't fit on 12-inch disc if it was 45. So that's why there's this difference. So since I'm using a 12-inch disk, I'm setting size to 12 and speed to 33, and in singles it would be 45 speed and size 7. But it's always worth checking, and also you may hear it that like something's off when it's too quiet. Now you can make sure to open the lock and click on start. As you can see, it starts spinning, the stylus turns itself up, it will adjust itself to the beginning of the disc. Of course, if you have it set to 7 inches, it will adjust itself like somewhere closer to the center to make it actually the center. The beginning of the 7-inch disc. Now you can hear that it starts playing, and that is basically it. As long as your setup is done correctly, by the way, there is a video about it on the channel, you can simply just start playing like so. Now, there's a few more things to add to that. You can stop whenever you want by clicking on stop. You will notice the stylus goes back to its previous position. Then it turns down and the vinyl stops. You can also click on up down. Now, when you move it, it will automatically start spinning, but but you can manually select what kind of track you want to play. Sorry. Okay, I'm back. You can see, I'll stop it for now. You can see when you adjust it to the neutral position, it stops spinning and you can just set it down. Now I'll show you, you can see on the vinyl record, there are those like more visible lines sometimes, and those are next tracks because there's a little space between tracks. So let's turn it up now. Let's select, let's say, I'll do the last track. It will be somewhere around here, I believe. Now let's turn it down. Yeah, I think it hit the like end of the one before the last track, and now it should go to the last track. Yeah, so that's how it works. And now when it finishes the last track, when it finishes the last track, when it goes to the end of the last track, then it will stop itself automatically and revert itself to the neutral position. As you will notice, now the track is finishing, the arm will move a little more quickly towards the center. That's how the grooves are made on the disc. And now when it reaches the last groove, it just goes back and shuts itself off. So that is really, really nice. And that is basically all you need to know about this device. It is really simple to use, as you can notice. And yeah, I hope that this video was helpful. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.